would necessitate bringing the shuttle back to Florida, which meant the need for a structure capable of lifting the orbiter off the ground and placing it on the back of the 747 shuttle carrier aircraft. Using cranes to lift and attach an orbiter was deemed a far too delicate balancing act to sustain over the course of the shuttle program. It soon became clear that there was a need to build a permanent and reliable structure to achieve this task. Hence, the idea of the mate-demate device was born, and plans to fabricate and construct the first MDD were put into action. The Kennedy Space Center awarded a $1.2 million plus contract to the George A. Fuller Company, a division of the Northrop Corporation, to design and build the first mate-demate device. Soon after, the MDD at Kennedy Space Center was constructed in 1976. In the early stages of the shuttle program, it was especially important to build an MDD at Dryden first. Assembled in nearby Palmdale, California, the first three orbiters, Enterprise, Columbia, and Challenger, were actually trucked to Dryden. Once there, the MDD would be utilized for the first time in the historic and groundbreaking Approach and Landing Test Program in 1977. The Approach and Landing Test Program, or ALT, was an essential component in the development of the Space Shuttle program. Used to validate the flying characteristics of the orbiter upon re-entry and landing and test its systems in flight. The ALT program made use of the MDD for the first time to load and unload Enterprise onto the Boeing 747 in a series of high-risk test flights in 1977. In 1982, NASA arranged to have a permanent mate-demate device erected in Palmdale. The Orbiter Loading Facility, or OLF, was originally built for use by the Air Force at Vandenberg Air Force Base, where it planned to launch a shuttle for its own missions. When the Air Force canceled the plans for a dedicated orbiter and launch facility on the West Coast, the OLF was relocated to Palmdale.
Several years ago, they were doing refurbishment of the shuttles in Palmdale at the Boeing facility, and the orbiter would fly in on the 747, and they would fly into Palmdale, and we would offload it using the OLF, and then we would transfer the shuttle over to the Boeing folks, and they would do the shuttle modifications, and then, maybe a year later, we'd pick the shuttle up and reverse the process, put it back on the 747, and fly it back to Florida.